You're paying for the ballroom. I'm paying for the ballroom. We are paying for the ballroom, folks. Lindsey Graham, who has never met a war or a cock that he didn't like, he is now on camera claiming that he is introducing legislation that will authorize $400 million of taxpayer money to create Donald Trump's Epstein Memorial Ballroom. And this is because, as I have told you, and everybody knows, this alleged shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner was a false flag. It was completely and entirely staged by Donald Trump for two reasons. One, to authorize taxpayer funding to get the ballroom done, and two, to move forward with making it illegal to criticize Donald Trump, which is a necessary element to install this fascist regime that they have been trying to create. What they essentially want, it's very simple. Luigi's got the zoomies. What they want is you can talk about the president, but only in glimmering praise. You got to tell him that he's got the biggest fucking cock and he's just the strongest man and he's the best boy on planet Earth and he's not married to a cheap Slovenian hooker. That's what you got to say. But if you say Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, that's a threat of violence. If you say Donald Trump is a fascist, that's a call to violence. If you say Donald Trump is a child sex trafficking pedophile rapist, that's a call to violence. That's where we're at right now. I'm not live today because I'm pretty fucking sick and it hurts to talk, so this probably won't be a long video. However, we have a couple of things to talk about. We got to watch Lindsey Graham say that he wants $400 million of taxpayer money to create the ballroom. We got to watch Jimmy Kimmel fire back. So as you know, Jimmy Kimmel made a joke about Trump being so old that Melania is like what's the word? Like an expectant widow, right? Great joke, and that's not a call to an assassination, by the way. That's just pointing out the fact that Donald Trump is 80 fucking years old. He is morbidly obese. He is addicted to Sudafed. He is constantly eating McDonald's. He doesn't believe in exercise. He is visibly rotting. We can see it. He's a dying old fuck, so that's just a fact. And Jimmy Kimmel, he's firing back because they're calling for him to be fired yet again, just like they did last time. Then we've got Todd Blanche, the acting deputy director of the, or no, sorry, not the acting deputy director, the acting attorney general, saying that they lost the bullet that was fired from the gunman, from the alleged gunman. I'm not kidding. He says sometimes you find the bullet and sometimes it just disappears. I'm not a forensics expert, but I can guarantee a bullet has never in the history of humankind disappeared. That's not what happens. Okay? Matter, it's just like there. It doesn't disappear. That bullet is matter, and matter always exists. You can't just destroy it, you stupid fuck. You can't find the bullet, or there was no bullet to be fired, or if you did find the bullet, it would prove that it was not fired by the gunman, or whatever. The bullet is probably going to be what brings down this entire operation. Then we got some clips from a hot mic on Fox News where they were saying, they're like, dude, they got like two random chicks holding the door open. What the fuck is up with security? And then last but not least, we're going to read a little bit of Donald Trump's Truth Social posts because he is claiming that the Iranians called him up and are like, excuse me, Mr. Donald, we're in a state of collapse. Can you please open the Strait of Hormuz? Which is hilarious because we don't have the Strait of Hormuz closed. The Iranians closed the Strait of Hormuz. We put a blockade around their blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, and our blockade is failing, and the Chinese ships are moving straight through it, and there's nothing we can fucking do about that. So, we've got a bit to talk about, but before we do, I want to remind you, hi, how are you? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm Chris Valenti. This is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, a sponsor, a billionaire, a government, or a PAC. This is genuine, real, independent, grassroots-funded media funded by you, the viewer. So, because of that fact, I don't get too much motion on this platform, and I definitely don't make enough money. So, if you do want to help me financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could buy merch, the posters behind me. We also have mugs, hoodies, stickers, you name it, right? You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for only $5. And of course, you can become a patron on Patreon and donate $1 a month, $2 a month, $5 a month, whatever you want. Listen, massive shouts out to you for donating even a single fucking dollar. It's not really about funding me as much as it is about boosting this this platform because, you know, this is real independent media and we need to be boosting more independent voices rather than these fucking cucks who are like, this video is sponsored by NordVPN. Shut the fuck up and suck my dick and tell me the fucking news. Anyway, other than that, if you don't want to give me your money, please at least like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely, boosts me in the algorithm. All right. Without further ado, we're going to start off with this. We're going to start off with a closeted homosexual and actual living demon, Lindsey Graham, saying that he's introducing legislation to use your money and my money to create the ballroom. That is ball with two A's.
We're going to introduce legislation that would authorize $400 million to be spent to secure to build the presidential ballroom. Underneath, there will be a lot of military stuff. There will be a Secret Service annex.
A Secret Service annex? What the fuck does that even mean? Is it just like a hub of cucks?
And we've paid for it by offsetting it with custom fees.
By the way, do you guys think that Lindsey Graham is a power bottom? Because we know he's a bottom, but do you think he's like a pillow princess, or is he throwing that fat southern ass back on whatever dick is railing him? Because we know he's a closeted homosexual and a bottom. He loves cock and war.
But the estimate is $332 million. We're going to do $400 million because I think it's probably going to take more. Private donations can be used, but I think they should.
Private donations can be used. Remember when Donald Trump and the rest of the regime was saying over and over again, not a single dollar worth of taxpayer funds is going into this. I'm building this myself. We've got private donors. It was all a lie. And you red hat wearing toothless fucking hicks, you fell for it because you are genuinely inferior.
Could be used for buying China and stuff like that.
Fighting China? Brother, the fucking New York Times just dropped a whole story. We don't have the munitions for a 24-hour-long war with China. I'm not even kidding. Before Operation Epstein's Fury began, we only had the munitions for a 5-day war with China. And now, this is a real number, you should look this up. We have fired 10 years worth of munitions in 50 days. At Iran. The point that I'm trying to make is, in the time spent in the war in Iran, we have fired the same amount of missiles that it takes us 10 years to develop. We're out of ammo. That's why Donald is on his hands and fucking knees, not sucking Bill Clinton, but instead begging for a fucking ceasefire with the Iranians so we can have time to rearm, reload, and relaunch the assault. That's the whole point. Not to mention the fact that we don't even sell Israel our weapons. We hand them our weapons for free. And then Israel sells our weapons and they make money. That's not a joke. We give them our stockpiles for free, which is most likely because the Israelis have a vault in Tel Aviv with videos of Donald Trump fucking kids, because Donald Trump is a sex trafficking rapist and they used Jeffrey Epstein to gather blackmail on him. And he is now the first president who was willing to wage that war with Iran that Bibi Netanyahu has asked every single president to do. And none of them were stupid enough to do it except for Donald Trump. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Nations can be used, but I think they should be used for buying China and stuff like that. Underneath.
Did he just say that private donations should be used for fighting China and stuff like that? So, okay, so we are literally just an oligarchy. You were just saying that we are a fucking oligarchy and that your taxpayer funds, that's going to go to the ballroom, but the billionaires, they're going to control the military.
This ballroom will be infrastructure that is national security centric. The ballroom itself will avoid the dilemma of having to leave the White House grounds with future presidents and this president's to go downtown in a place that's less secure. President Trump said to me this morning, yesterday, we need the ballroom not just for me, but for future presidents. He literally could have left.
When he says future presidents, he means like his sons. He means J.D. Vance. Like, they are not having elections moving forward. They're going to hand select the next leaders because that's what they want. They want a monarchy. Trump wants to be the king.
His bedroom, walked out the back of the White House and been at the ballroom. That's what needs to happen.
Dude, they want a system where you can never, like, they want Donald Trump to never have to leave the fucking White House. They want this, like impenetrable fortress compound type thing, because they know that Donald Trump is a dictator, and what is coming next is going to be so unbelievably fucked that it's going to lead to an armed revolution, and he needs some sort of super bunker for two reasons. One, the revolution, and two, the nuclear war that they're going to start when Trump requests a nuclear strike on Iran again, which he has requested 9 times since this war began. Donald Trump has requested to nuke Iran 9 times since this war began.
When you have 1,000 or 2,000 people gathered in today's environment. And the sooner we get the ballroom built, the more hardened it is, the better for the country. So I hope and pray that most people in the Senate after Saturday night will support this bill.
Yeah, see, this is why we know it's staged. You literally staged this whole thing for two reasons. One, let's get the ballroom done with taxpayer money. And two, let's make it illegal to criticize Donald Trump, you fucking disgusting, giant, fat, turkey-necked, goddamn fucking power bottom, closeted homosexual, warmongering piece of shit. Okay, now, we're gonna watch Jimmy Kimmel fire back a little bit. And before we even start this, I want you to know, I'm not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. Not because like I hate him or anything. I don't find this man to be funny. I know that there's a bunch of neolibs out there who think he's the funniest man on earth. I've never thought he was funny. I do think that he's funnier than Jimmy Fallon, but still, I don't think he's a funny guy. But he's definitely not calling for the assassination of Donald J. fucking Trump.
You know how sometimes you wake up in the morning and the First Lady puts out a statement demanding you be fired from your job? We've all been there, right? You've been there, right, Guillermo?
Yeah!
Yeah. What a day. As you know, they had to cancel the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington on Saturday night after a man with multiple guns and knives crashed the
Allegedly.
party and may have shot a Secret Service officer. Fortunately, the guy was wearing a bulletproof vest and is okay. They're not sure exactly what happened, but they got the guy. He was charged today. No one was hurt, thank goodness. A lot of people were shaken up on a night that is supposed to be lighthearted. The White House Correspondents' Dinner, if you don't know, it used to be an annual event before Trump showed up. But every year they'd have a comedian roast the room. The president, the vice president, members of the press, everybody got roasted. I did it once. I hosted it. It was a lot of fun. But this year, they said, no comedian. We're bringing in a mentalist instead. So on Thursday...
Yeah, they brought in an Israeli magician instead of a comedian.
3 days before the event, in order to keep that cherished tradition alive, I did my own version of the Correspondents' Dinner on my show. I put on a tuxedo. We pretended we had an audience of luminaries. We used old footage of the Trumps, of Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Kid Rock, Vanilla Ice, all the members of his cabinet. And we made it seem like they were all together in a room. We had a little roast. Again, this was Thursday, and there was no big reaction to it until this morning when I greeted the day facing yet another Twitter vomit storm. And a call to fire me from our First Lady, Melania Trump, saying I should be fired because
No, she's not the First Lady. She's the first hooker. Friendly reminder that before Donald Trump met Melania, she was simply a cheap Slovenian hooker. Didn't cost much to fuck her.
I made, again, 5 nights ago. It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which... obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination, and they know that. I've been very vocal for many years speaking out against gun violence.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, he did cover that. He did explain himself pretty damn well. He made a joke, and the joke isn't even that funny, but it is just a fucking joke. All right, now we're going to move on a little bit, and we're going to listen to Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, say that it's not an exact science to recover a bullet from a crime scene, and sometimes it just disappears. What? What the fuck are you talking about, dog? That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard, and it is very blatant that they are trying to hide something.
One officer fired their weapon 5 times. Was that the only officer who discharged a firearm?
I want to be very careful in answering that question because this is, when you do ballistics evidentiary collection and research, it is very complicated. So when you fire a bullet, the bullet ends up somewhere. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. And
no, that's not true whatsoever. Sure, maybe sometimes you don't find it, but that doesn't mean the bullet isn't there. Now watch.
So from that, with that qualifier, we believe right now that there was 5 shots fired from the same firearm.
One officer fired.
So they're claiming that these bullets just magically fucking disappeared, which I'm not going to believe for a goddamn fucking second. All right, and now I want you to hear that even Fox News, they probably didn't know that the hot mic was on, before the shooting happened, was calling out how lax the security is. Get a look at this.
I love that they have like 2 random chicks holding the front door open. We're not even trying anymore.
They got like 2 random chicks holding the front door open. They're not even trying anymore.
It's not even like, I just mean like they're not even like Secret Service people. It's like the girls who work here are holding the door. Even if it was the guys, it wouldn't even make it better. It's like she's fucking just like they might as well put a doorstop in. Like, they put up a doorstop and a scarecrow. Don't fuck with this guy.
Unbelievable, bro. Even Fox News can't fucking defend this shit. And meanwhile, you have J.D. Vance saying that this was like a show of professionalism, that the Secret Service did their job beautifully. And it's like, no, dude, you didn't secure the fucking area whatsoever. Now, the last thing I want to show you is this. Trump posts this on Truth Social. He goes, Iran has just informed us that they are in a, quote, state of collapse. They want us to open the Hormuz Strait as soon as possible as they try to figure out their leadership situation, which I believe they will be able to do. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So this is a lie, a blatant lie. They did not ask him to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. They have complete control over the Strait of Hormuz. We do not. We don't even have any cards. And then the last thing I want to talk about is what he posted about Friedrich Merz. He goes, the Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz, thinks it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If Iran had a nuclear weapon, the whole world would be held hostage. I am doing something with Iran right now that other nations or presidents should have done long ago. No wonder Germany is doing so poorly, both economically and otherwise. President Donald J. Trump. I also love that he always hits, I'm doing something that other presidents should have done a long time ago. He's probably, what he's referencing is Bibi probably told him, Donald, I have asked every single president before you to wage this war with Iran, but none of them were strong enough. None of them were as big and brave as you. None of them had a big fat cock like you, Donald. And Donald fell for that. Now, it's not just that, it's also the reason that Bibi said, if you don't wage this war, I will drop the footage of you raping little kids, Donald. So it's a twofold problem for Donald. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to try to, heal myself up, drink a whole bunch of vitamin C, and get back to live streaming tomorrow. But thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti VOD. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, helps me immensely, and have a great day. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers.